today. Thanks for coming to the State of Mount Clemens, put on by the Chamber, Mount Clemens, Macomb County Chamber. I'll get that straight. Bear with me. My name is Greg Jacob. I'm with Henry Ford Macomb Hospital. I'm on the board of the Chamber. Again, welcome on behalf of the Chamber. And I want to welcome you on behalf of our sponsors of today's event. They are AT&T, and Lori Doty is here from AT&T, Baker College, Goldman Sachs, and C&G Publishers. Elaine and Sarah are here from C&G, so thank you to our sponsors. And since I am a sponsor, I want to say on behalf of my colleagues at McLaren and Beaumont and St. John, we are all about prevention this time of year. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We are also emphasizing men's health this time of year. So 3 things you have to remember. If you're a lady, please get, or a woman, please get your mammogram. If you're a man, get the appropriate checkups for prostate cancer, colon cancer, and for everybody, it's flu season, make sure you get your flu shot. End of commercial. Thank you. It is a great morning in Mount Clemens, a great morning in Macomb County. We're all excited about hearing what is new and excited in Mount Clemens, and we have the person here that knows all about that. Let me introduce the mayor of Mount Clemens, Barb Dempsey.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it early enough for everybody? I know it is for me. Yeah, remember, for me to get here at 7:30, I have to get up at 5 o'clock because it takes time to get this together, so. But anyway, I am so glad to see everybody this morning. Thank you, Greg, for the introduction. And thank you all for joining us on this beautiful fall morning in downtown Mount Clemens. We'll forget if it's raining or anything. Just all pretend, just take a deep breath and pretend this is a nice fall, fall, whatever. Welcome to our 2015 State of the City Address. Before I begin, let me first thank the Macomb County Chamber for sponsoring this event. Thank you so much for having us. Next, of course, I would really like to thank Oakland University for hosting us today in this great room, so thank you. Just want to talk a little bit about OU. Mount Clemens is grateful to have partnered with OU. OU is committed to making an impact in Mount Clemens and throughout Macomb County by providing access to higher education. OU offers bachelor's and master's degree programs right here at the Anton Frankel Center. In addition, OU offers degree programs at Macomb University Center, Macomb Intermediate District, both in Clinton Township. Boy, that was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? Mount Clemens. Last year, more than 2,000 OU students studied in one of these Macomb County locations. OU also shows its commitment to the community by supporting and participating in our local events like the Independent Day Fireworks, the Let's Move Festival of Races, and our Santa Parade, just to name a few. And finally, OU supports economic development through Macomb and Oakland University Incubator. OU, Mount Clemens, and I look forward to a long relationship with you. Mount Clemens is special, unique, and it's worthy to celebrate, for celebration. Although I was raised to be a humble person, today I hope you'll bear with me because as your mayor, I'm in the mood to brag about Mount Clemens. Now I could spend the next 25 to 30 minutes showing you pie charts, graphs, and giving you a lot of facts and figures. Rather, you will see pictures of beautiful Mount Clemens on both sides of me right here, over there. They are a reminder of what a great city and community we live in. Today, I'm going to be presenting a different state of the city than I have in the past. Today, I want to talk from my heart about our city, about our community, and our home. Now, don't misunderstand me. There's a lot going on in Mount Clemens, and I'm going to share much of it with you. So feel free to be proud, just as proud as I am, of Mount Clemens. So what truly makes Mount Clemens great? It's simple: people and places. The people who work on the vital projects for our city, the people who live in our city, the places that contribute to our developing economy, the places that preserve our place in Michigan history. So first, let me speak about the people who work for Mount Clemens. The poet Walt Whitman said, "A great city has the greatest men and women," and I truly believe Mount Clemens is such a city. The dedicated people who work for our city do incredible things to make the city what it is. They work behind the scenes and on the front lines to provide the best service possible to our residents, businesses, and visitors with our precious financial resources. It isn't always the glamorous work, but without them and their dedicated staff, we wouldn't have the critical public services like snow removal, fire department, animal control, community development, road repair, code enforcement, wastewater and water filtration plant, dial-a-ride, and voter registration. These people who work for Mount Clemens truly exemplify the expression above and beyond. Several of these people are here with us today, and I would like to acknowledge them. City Commissioner Roger Bunton, Lois Hill, and Denise Menser are with us in the front here row. City Manager Steve Brown, City Clerk Lisa Borges, Financial Director and Treasurer Marilyn DeLugie, Community Development Director Brian Tingley, Public Service Director Jeff Wood. He's making faces at me. Trying to throw me off track here, are you, huh? Okay. City Attorney Mike Murray. Blair Seelover from F&V Operations. This is the company that oversees and manages our utility departments. And Sarah Price from our Human Resource Department and Sue Caderas from the City Manager's Office. Both were key contributors to today's event. Steve Saff, the chair of our DDA Board of Directors. Michelle Weiss, our DDA Marketing Coordinator. And a special thank you. I'd like to extend a special thank you to Patty Georgievich from OU for assisting us today. Thank you, Patty. Please join me in thanking all of them for going that extra mile to getting me up here this early. We also have state and county execs in our audience, and I'd like to recognize them. I don't know if Marilyn Lane is here yet, but she will be. County Commissioner Fred Miller, Mark Deldrum from the County Exec's Office, and John Swickla from the County Exec's Office. I was also pleased to see Mark Vanderpool from the City of Sterling Heights. Thank you. And Carter Bundy from the Attorney General's Office. He came a long way. Thanks, Carter. Thank you all for being here today. So, what are these people who work for the city doing? They are doing plenty. And here is just a few of the essential initiatives and projects they're working on. Our city's financial outlook is brighter than it has been in at least a decade. Our recently adopted fiscal budget includes investments in equipment and new software to improve the delivery of services. Though our finances have stabilized and the outlook is better than it was a year ago, we still face challenges. We feel fortunate that with the help of the residents, we have been able to stabilize the current budget. So thank you so much. We've developed a new strategic plan with the assistance of SIMCOG at no cost to our city to guide our efforts with priorities, objectives, and strategies now and into the future. We're updating our 2010 master plan, and we will add several other plans to attract new businesses to our economic growth continues. They include a downtown plan, which we've never had before, a redevelopment strategy, and an economic development and marketing strategy. This project helps us in our efforts to become certified through the MEDC's Redevelopment Ready Communities program. And some great news that just came in yesterday. We have been awarded over $1.8 million by the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality under the SAW grant program. Under this grant, our utilities department will have funding to develop a wastewater assessment management plan, including a comprehensive evaluation and GIS mapping of our system. We've repaired and continue to repair our roads, with most or the majority of the costs covered by county or state road improvement programs and grants. Before I continue, I see Marilyn Lane came in, and I just want to give a shout out for Marilyn. Marilyn is our state representative. She represents Mount Clemens, and she does an excellent job in Lansing because she was a mayor once in Fraser, so she knows the difficulties that we have locally, and she fights for us every day. So thanks, Marilyn. Now on to the roads. Like the repaving of Crocker Boulevard, it was a $1.2 million cost, and that was funded by the Priority Road Improvement Program. And we currently are working on a $350,000 paving project on Market Street, which is 80% funded by the state's Transportation Improvement Program. For those of you in this room who are wondering, when is Market Street going to open up so that I don't have to go around in circles to get where I have to get? If I'm not mistaken, Jeff, the first part of next week?
Yes.
All right, you heard that. We've implemented electronic poll books to improve our voters' experience and reduce time and expenses associated with elections. Our city pursues opportunity to collaborate with surrounding communities to maximize the financial resources we're entrusted with and demonstrate to our residents, Macomb County, and the state that we're making smart decisions to provide essential services to our community. But while we partner, we never lose sight of our Mount Clemens identity. Some examples of our cooperative effort include our active participation in MACRO, the Macomb Area Counties of Regional Opportunities. 14 local communities meet monthly and address regional needs and points of collaboration. Our award-winning Macomb Cable Network is a long-running cooperation between the city and the Mount Clemens school districts, which have resulted in our students receiving statewide awards. Special thanks to senior producer Patrick Lindaberry, who's not with us today, and producer Darren Roberts, who is with us today, right behind the camera there. Our Dial-A-Ride provides valuable transportation service to many Mount Clemens residents, and with the cooperation of SMART, we received 3 new 16-passenger buses to replace the old buses. The Mount Clemens Fire Department is a participant in a collaborative effort with mutual aid and automatic aid. And it is one of the 4 bordering fire departments undertaking consolidation feasibility study to look at exciting new ways to deliver critical firefighting and medical response services. And for the record, all 4 municipalities and unions representing the firefighters have contributed to this study, with Macomb County coordinating the process. The Macomb County Sheriff's Office provides police service for our community in an innovative, cost-saving collaboration that dates back 10 years. Also, we are one of 12 Macomb County communities to consolidate our public safety dispatch through Macomb County's state-of-the-art ComTech Center in Mount Clemens. The past summer, our city hosted an investor's tour of our downtown. This was made possible by many people and groups, including the Mount Clemens DDA and the Macomb County Planning and Economic Development. And I also want to give a shout out to Sue Blanchard from Anton and Zorn, who was an instrumental part in putting this investors group together. It was a great day, and we hope to continue it. And out of this investors group, we did get some new businesses downtown, plus we were able to showcase what Mount Clemens is all about. The people who work for the city are doing what it takes to keep Mount Clemens running each and every day for our residents, businesses, and visitors. They are great people who make our city great. Now I'd like to talk about the people who call Mount Clemens their home, our residents. More than 16,000 people call our 4.2 square mile city their home. They enjoy the tree-lined communities with 12 parks and 150 acres of grass. In fact, Jeff can contest to that because he's got to cut that grass. In fact, this is our 28th consecutive year as Tree City, USA. Many families have made Mount Clemens their home for generations. Our residents truly make Mount Clemens an exceptional city to live in and to visit. These are people who are committed to their hometown. Did you know that more than 100 residents volunteer by serving on boards and committees in Mount Clemens? These boards and committees work diligently to preserve our history, beautify the community, and help with the planning and the direction. And our devoted civic organizations like the Lions, the Kiwanis, Rotary, Mount Clemens Optimist, and the Goodfellows, they all work tirelessly to improve the quality of our city. All are just another fine example of what I consider going above and beyond. In addition to our volunteers, there are other members in our community who make Mount Clemens a better place to live. We call them our local treasures. The City Commission developed this program to recognize our outstanding citizens. In 2015, our 2015 award recipients are Thelma Ulrich and Bill Mangan. Our first recipient, Thelma, passed away earlier this year at the age of 92. I'd like to just take a few moments to celebrate her life and acknowledge her commitment to Mount Clemens. Thelma was born here, raised here, and graduated from Mount Clemens schools. After receiving her master's degree from Wayne State, she worked and traveled. Upon her return, she spent her later career at Wilson School, first teaching and then a principal. In those years, Thelma influenced thousands of people in Mount Clemens, thousands of students and faculty members that she came in contact with. After her retirement, and for the next 27 years, she served on boards on the Crocker House, the Anton Art Center, the Mount Clemens Historical Commission, and the Mount Clemens Educational Foundation. The reason I bring up Thelma is because here is a person who studied and traveled the world, but she chose to come back to Mount Clemens and make her home. When she retired, she decided, well, I'm not going to sit around. I'm going to give back to the community that helped me. And she's 27 years she spent doing exactly that. And we will absolutely miss not seeing her little red Volkswagen driving around town. Our other award recipient is Bill Mangan. Bill was born in the Bronx, and I forgive you for that, Bill. And while he was working as a shoe shine boy, he shined the shoes of boxing great Jack Dempsey. Okay, I have a question for you, Bill. Will you shine my shoes? Dempsey should help, the name, you know. He joined the U.S. Air Force at 17. He worked at Selfridge Air National Guard. He married his wife, June, at St. Peter's Catholic Church in 1955. They celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary this year. A true Irish gentleman, Bill saved his money and opened Mangan's Irish Hut in 1976. In 2016, Mangan's will be celebrating the 40th anniversary in Mount Clemens. So stop by and have an Irish mist with Bill and let him know how much we all love him. Bill, could you please stand? He's here today. Thanks for coming, Bill. I just want to say that if you have time, I don't care, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, go and see Bill at the Irish Hut. He can tell you stories about Mount Clemens that make your hair stand up. Right, Bill? We've had our discussions. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, now I would be remiss not to recognize our past recipients. Irene from Miller Brothers Dairy, B. Stark and Stark Service on Hardware, Dr. James Thompson from the North Broadway Church of Christ, and Dr. Lois Eulens. Now that I've shared a few tales of our special Mount Clemens people, those who work for our city as well as those who live in our city, I'd like to talk to you about the places that make Mount Clemens great. Our local businesses that contribute to our developing economy. We have outstanding businesses that have proven their commitment to our city by making Mount Clemens their home for many, many years. Some are expanding and moving locations, but the important thing is they are staying right here in Mount Clemens. Businesses like Concord Tool. Today they are celebrating 50 years of business in Mount Clemens. In fact, once I'm done here, I'm going over there to help them celebrate their milestone. Mount Clemens Bakery has been in the same location for 35 years. I'd like to welcome Gloria. If you could stand, please. You will also find Gloria on Saturday mornings down at the Farmers Market. So please stop by at the Farmers Market or go over to the Mount Clemens Bakery. They've got the greatest bakery around. Thank you, Gloria, for staying with us for 35 years. And we hope we have 35 more out of you. I know you want to retire, but you can't. Since opening 10 years ago, Max and Ollie's moved to a bigger location in Mount Clemens. Owner Diane Kubik is also with us this morning. And I want to talk a little bit about Diane. If Diane could stand, please. Not to definitely embarrass you, Diane, but this lady here is what I consider a Mount Clemens ambassador. Diane is one of those people that when Mickey calls her up and says, we're going to have this event downtown and I need help, and Diane says, don't worry, I'll do it. She decorates the windows, she decorates the streets, she runs around, she's at every single event that this town puts on. She doesn't have to be there. She's not even getting paid to be there, but she's there because she loves Mount Clemens, and she hung in there during some tough times during the recession. She stayed open, and she continues to thrive now. And Diane, we just thank you for all that you do in Mount Clemens. Nickel and Saf have been in Mount Clemens since 1929. I introduced Steve earlier this morning, but I'm going to say, Steve, you look pretty darn good for working since 1929. I don't know what your secret is, but you need to share. This took from 5 in the morning, you know. Mount Clemens Grill recently opened on Main Street. This location is their second establishment. Their first establishment is just down the road on Main Street called Lewis Ham and Corn Beef. Now, that's Mount Clemens confidence. Doing business within a half a mile from each business. Or drop in for a bite at Gus's Coney Island, which has been in Mount Clemens since 1971. Mount Clemens is vibrant. It has everything you could possibly want. We have food, we have shopping, we have entertainment, we have spas, we have hair salons. Are you hungry or thirsty? We have burgers, we've got beer, we've got Thai, steak, Coney restaurants, and who doesn't love our sweet shops? Shopping, we have paperback books to antiques, to magic supplies, to jewelry, to skateboards. In need of locally grown produce, our farmers market on North River Road is open on weekends from May through October. And it was recently voted the best farmers market by the Metro Times. And the market has also recently expanded to downtown on Wednesdays during the summer months. Need some exercise? Right. 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock. Lace up your skates and go to the Mount Clemens Ice Arena. Open year-round, it is a popular facility for those who enjoy recreational skating, hockey tournaments, and figure skating competitions. Mount Clemens is more than just its downtown. We have great restaurants and establishments throughout the city. Our business community is committed to making investments in our city and see the true value that Mount Clemens has to offer. But then there's even more happening in our vibrant business community. With nearly 71 stores nationwide, SVS Vision Optical Center continues to expand. The Mount Clemens store is its #1 retail store in the nation. And the company just opened its new state-of-the-art headquarters in Mount Clemens. Powder Coat 2 is working on a 48,000 square foot addition to their South Rose campus. McLaren Hospital is near completion of its 18,000 square foot, 2-story addition to the Ted B. Wabi Cancer Center. McLaren Hospital is Macomb's first trauma center, and it is the busiest emergency room in Macomb County. C Burgers Cheeseburgers opened a new location, Detour, at 36 New Street. The Three Blind Mice at 101 North Main Street was just named one of the 8 great theme restaurants to visit in Metro Detroit by the Metro Times. Macomb County plans to invest $65 million into their facilities in Mount Clemens. Just keep watching the changes that are going to be taking place on the county's downtown campus. And I'm also happy to share that Mount Clemens is building on its reputation as a high-tech business hub for Macomb County. Our city is getting noticed as a great place to build new businesses by young entrepreneurs. Let me give you some examples. Hunch Free, which is a full-service digital marketing agency. Group Golfer offers online discounts of golf and equipment. And let me just say something about these 2 young men. Both of them brought their businesses from the West Side. Both of them leased a building in downtown Mount Clemens. And both of them have purchased buildings in Mount Clemens. And in fact, Bobby has also purchased the property behind him. They see the value of what this town is and what this town can become in the future. Eyewear is a software studio providing software solutions and consulting. Metro Technology develops security strategies to design solutions. And NES World Group is a creative marketing firm. And The Red Theory is a website online marketing strategy provider. Our business owners and their employees are an integral part of what makes Mount Clemens unique and special. I wish I had time to mention every business in Mount Clemens because they're all so important to us. And I see so many of them here today. And I'm going to take a minute. This is off the cuff, so my coach will probably, get upset. But I want to recognize, we've got Debbie Boone and Paul Boone here who have invested in our town with Bath City Bistro and Orleans, and hopefully we'll expand soon in the future. There are many businesses that have been here many years. I was surprised when I started going through, and my husband and I were kind of not arguing, but debating. And I said, there's at least 20 or so that I think have been here for 40 to 50 years. So that says a lot about our town. I wish please join me. Well, we already did that. Congratulate everybody. Let's congratulate them. I know this has been a great deal to take in a short time, and again, I know it's early in the morning. But as I told you when I began, there's a lot to celebrate when you talk about Mount Clemens. That's not to say we don't have our challenges, but our city government is committed to finding the best solution so we can turn our obstacles into opportunities, make positive strides, and continue to rebound and turn around. And I welcome your feedback and ideas and suggestions. We're all stakeholders. We're all invested in our Mount Clemens. So, introduce yourself to me at any event. Stop and see me in the office. Email our city offices, our commissioners, and our city manager, or drop a note in the lobby of our suggestion box. I truly believe that it only takes a small idea to make a big difference. So today I've spoken about the great people who work in our city, the great people who live in our city, and the places that do valuable business for our economy. Now let me finish by talking about the places in Mount Clemens that preserves our past. Did you know that Mount Clemens is the oldest city in Macomb County and in Michigan? In 2018, Mount Clemens will be celebrating its bicentennial. We've already begun planning this special event, and we want to bring back our traditional Bath City Festival. 2018 will be an exciting year for Mount Clemens as we look back on our past and continue to work on our future, because Mount Clemens is indeed a city rich with history. What are just a few of our legacies? What will preserve our place in Michigan history? Our world-renowned mineral baths brought our city fame as a popular tourist destination. Even Clark Gable was a regular. And I know there's some of you out there, the young group, that doesn't know who Clark Gable is, but you all have iPhones, you all have internet. Check them out. He was pretty good. We were the rose capital of the United States. Roses grown right here in Mount Clemens were front and center during President Gerald Ford's term in the White House. We have outstanding institutions committed to serving our residents. A terrific example is our Mount Clemens Library, celebrating 150-year anniversary this year. They are also the second oldest library in the state of Michigan, with Detroit being the first. I won't say be number one, but the first. So a special thanks goes out to our wonderful Library Commission members, Librarian Don Worrell, and all the library staff. Please encourage your family and friends to visit Mount Clemens. Have them join us at one of the 30 events that held annually in Mount Clemens. Each year, more than 150,000 visitors attend our events, including our Independence Day fireworks, which brings 40,000 people to downtown Mount Clemens to witness a premier fire show, the premier fireworks show in southeastern Michigan and probably even in the state. Special thanks to our main sponsors, Oakland University, the Wayne Weber Foundation, and the DDA. Our Made in Michigan show, our Nashville in the Neighborhood concert series sponsored by 99.5 WYCD, our Uptown Friday Night concert series, the Columbus Day Parade, which will be tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock right out front here on Main Street, our Fire Department open house this Sunday from noon to 4, our Halloween Spectacular, which is October 24th. Last year, over 5,000 children and their parents attended, so don't miss out on that fun. Our Santa Parade, which I'm very proud of. This event holds a special place in my heart. 10 years ago, we were informed by that the former parade committee could no longer sponsor the parade due to the lack of funds and volunteers. But I was determined to see this event continue, and thankfully, I was joined by a committed group of volunteers. I'm proud to say that this will be our 40th annual parade. And please, thank you. And please remember, this year, the parade will be on Saturday before Thanksgiving, so mark your calendar, November 21st. I want to give a shout out to the committee because they don't get enough accolades. They have been with me for 10 years. We've been putting this parade on. From June through November, these people work to put on a tradition, to continue to keep the tradition of the parade in Mount Clemens. And many of you who've been here a long time know you've brought your children, your grandchildren, and it's a tradition that we want to continue to go on. Tradition makes a city. So keep that in mind, please. And the end of the year, New Year's Eve fireworks, and the only New Year's display in Macomb County. So don't miss the children ringing in their New Year at their own Never Never Land fireworks display early in the evening. In addition to the many events held year-round, encourage your family and friends to take a tour of our historical landmarks, like the Crocker House Museum, which was the first mayor's home in Mount Clemens. No, I don't live there. No, they don't provide me a home. But go visit. It's a great Victorian home. The Michigan Transit Museum, that's where Thomas Edison learned the telegraph. The Anton Art Center, which brings art, exhibits, and programs to the people of Macomb County. And Mr. Gilchrist is here today, and he's the new executive director of the Art Center, so I'm sorry I didn't mention it before. This morning, I hope you've heard the love that I have for our city. in my voice and perhaps in my words. When you leave today, please remember that Mount Clemens is about its people and its places. Our dedicated city employees who keep the city humming. Our terrific residents who love their city and are proud to call it home. Our vibrant businesses that are revitalizing our economy. And our historic landmarks and traditions that we want to preserve. So when someone asks you about Mount Clemens, you can say, there's more to Mount Clemens that meets the eye. We're walkable, livable, our growth is desirable, but never at the cost of our community's character. So be proud, because I am. British architect Richard Rogers said that the citizens of Athens had an oath for someone who was about to become a citizen. They had to swear, I shall leave this city not less more beautiful than I found. As citizens of Mount Clemens, we should all take that pledge. It is my distinct honor and privilege to serve you as your mayor, and thank you for your time and attention this morning. And I will be more than happy to take questions. Thank you. So, shoot away.
Are you putting together a committee for the bicentennial?
But yes, that committee is already starting. I think Michelle Weiss will be heading that committee, if I'm not mistaken. So if there's anybody interested in getting on board, please see Michelle. Boy, that's great. Everybody knows everything they need to know about Mount Clemens now. Thank you so much for coming. I know it was early, and I truly appreciate it, but I do hope you can take away the fact that we have a lot of pride in Mount Clemens. We're a small community, but we're pretty mighty, and we're going to be around for a long time with everyone's help. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Dempsey. I love the Thomas Edison story. One of the first books I ever read was about Thomas Edison, and it fixed Mount Clemens in my imagination forever from that book and that story. So thank you again for the great presentation, and we hope to have some of this great sunshine and these great pictures of Mount Clemens. So we hope to have some of that later today. Mayor Dempsey mentioned our elected officials that are here, so I want to introduce each of them to say a few words about what's going on in their corner of the world. First, State Representative Marilyn Lane.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you. I'd like to start off by saying thank you for the opportunity to represent you in Lansing. And I'd like to focus a little bit about, I think that what I found most now representing District 31, which I didn't know going up there, as the mayor mentioned, I was a mayor, so I understood the role as a mayor, but I didn't really realize the unique challenges Mount Clemens faces. And representing District 31 really pointed out those unique disadvantages. And I think I really want to start by saying that your mayor has overcame so much adversities. And I think she's too humble in everything she sat here and told you about all these great things. Because there are wonderful things here at Mount Clemens. But it's often let gone by, you know, when you get all ready for an event, ladies, you know this, we're all set, we're dressed, we're ready to go, we look like the Nile, we step out, and we realize, we got to run in our nylon. And all you're focused on is that run in your nylon. You forget all of a sudden how good you looked and what the event was about. Sometimes, often, that's what happens here at Mount Clemens. You get stuck on that run in the nylon. And every time that run happens, the mayor overcomes that adversities. For the last decade, it has been a challenge for any elected official on any level of local government to really be successful. It has been a challenge, but uniquely challenging for this mayor because she shares this as the county seat, which, as we know, we have a lot of government buildings in here that are non-taxable. So her challenges are quite different than the rest of our mayors in the county, where we don't have so much non-taxable buildings that we have to deal with. But on top of that, she also has to share her community and the leadership role with so many other entities, such as the county seat and the county board, who likes to have a certain vision, and the executive office that has a certain vision, and certainly trying to maintain the uniqueness of the residents in the city of Mount Clemens. So there's a lot of challenges with that. But I think the thing that she comes out strong with is the fact that she gets and coordinates everybody. And this community has overcome a lot of the adversities. When Stars and Stripe left, what happened? They had a magical summer festival. You know, not a day went by when you didn't miss something was going to happen. So I think it's incredible how she evolves a busy Mount Clemens business opportunity into evolving nighttime. Now, is there criticism that, well, businesses come, businesses go? Yeah, but not one person can overcome all the adversities we've had in our economy. But that never stops that lady from continuing to seek a better opportunity. And assets with the riverfront you had. Oh, is that beautiful? And what it's going to look like in the future as our economy is starting to come back and as it's starting to grow. Now I know in Lansing, I've tried to run legislation that somehow compensates for the loss of the lack of taxable government buildings. Something should happen not only in Mount Clemens County seat, but throughout the state, because there's county seats all over. And we need that county seat. But how do we rectify the loss in dollars to maintain that county seat to the community that it's located in? Because no matter what happens, no matter how robust our economy becomes, no matter how much our other communities in Mount Clemens and the Tri-County area grows, Mount Clemens will always be restricted with at least 45% of its taxable value not collecting revenues to grow. And that's a really big challenge. It's a big challenge for Mayor. And so what I think she lacks, she's too humble. She's too humble saying about all the good things that are happening. What she's not telling you about is how hard it is to make that happen. And she'll never be able to overcome that diversity. And so for that, I want to point out what the trooper she's been and the challenges and all those things that you saw was a wonderful attribution to her career here in Lansing. And I only wish much better things coming. We will continue in Lansing to fight for this. As you know, they keep cutting our dollars more and more and more to balance the budgets in Lansing. I don't need to continue to echo that. But again, not only are they cutting us, but again, the diversity here with the mayor's role is never going to be something that they can overcome unless we change legislation. And I will continue to fight for that county seat so we can bring some additional dollars so that we can put it back into the county seats. Because as you see, the county's trying to provide parking, and look at the impact it's having to all the businesses. I know myself, even I think, oh, I've got to go down there. How am I going to park? Where am I going to be? How's I going to get there? Obviously, I'm late. So that happens. Just when the business is starting to flourish again, you know, you get this adversity. But it's good because we know every time we see orange barrels while we're inconvenienced and we complain about it, we know afterwards we forget real soon and how good it'll be. So we have to hang in there together as a team. And if you haven't had an opportunity, and I'm sure you have, but I was putting up all the articles in May. You know, Mount Clemens hosts a Made in Michigan, embraces dual roles, office by day, entertainment by night. Cranes, I mean, even to be recognized in the Cranes magazine now. You know, the riverfront improvements. And I've seen some really nice plans that the county commissioner and our chair of the county board, beautiful plans of the riverfront. And again, I think that's a good thing for everybody. But again, the mayor and Mount Clemens has to be a key role in it. And I know Fred's here, our county commissioner, who lives here, and he understands Mount Clemens probably just as well, if not better than most people in this room. But he has to share this also with 12 other commissioners that have a vision for Mount Clemens. So government becomes complicated. But I only can say that I think that having partnered with the mayor, having worked with her whenever she's called Lansing and said these are our challenges, I know that she's been committed, and it's been an honor to serve with her, and I'm so proud of her accomplishments and everybody in this room that's contributed to the success of Mount Clemens. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Representative Lane. And from the County Exec's office, we have Deputy Executive Mark Delden.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am here this morning on behalf of County Executive Mark Hackle, and I was told that I have 5 minutes to give you a quick snapshot of what's going on in the county and county government. Shouldn't be difficult since I'm not a politician per se. In fact, anyone that knows me well knows that I don't run for politics, I run from them. Anyway, what's been going on the other side of this wall, on the other side of Main Street, the earth-moving equipment and all the noise and dust that's been going on is not an indicator of our county government, because we are on solid financial footing. We really are. I'll talk more about that in just a couple of minutes. But in the last 4 years, and I want to recognize Commissioner Fred Miller today, in the last 4 years, working collaboratively with the Macomb County Board of Commissioners and our office and many others, we're really proud of where we're at. where we were going and where we're at right now. But just in the last 4 years, we have turned a general fund deficit into a very healthy general fund surplus. We took advantage about a year ago, we took advantage of some recent state legislation that allowed local governments and municipalities to issue bonds to shore up any unfunded liabilities they had in their pension system. The Macomb County government pension system has existed since 1947. There are about 2,000 members who receive monthly pension checks, many whom live right here in the city of Mount Clemens, and whose families are dependent on them. We took advantage of legislation, and our pension system is 100% fully funded. So you'll never read in the paper about Macomb County pensioners having their pension checks, their monthly pension checks jeopardized. We are fully funded, and again, working collaboratively with the Board of Commissioners, we were able to do that. We also, probably one of the most obvious things that's going on outside on our campus here is we did a 2-year study of our building utilization study about 2 years ago. And we knew that the old county building, our historic county building that was, the first foundations were laid back in the early 1930s, interestingly enough, using some federal stimulus funds after the Great Depression. Ran out of federal stimulus funds, and much of it sat vacant until the mid-1940s when the rest of the floors were finished there. But lo and behold, when you went into that building just a few years ago, it looked like it was built in the 1930s because it had never been fully upgraded. Some interior remodeling had been done over the years, but we didn't have fire suppression systems. It wasn't handicap accessible on most of the floors. So we worked again with the Board of Commissioners, and we said, you know what, this old historic building it's a landmark, it's an anchor down here on Main Street, and it's not going anywhere, but we need to make some good usable space out of it. So we had a study done, and just a couple of months ago, we broke ground on a $65 million infrastructure plan that will touch each one of our buildings down here, meaning the newer glass building here, the historic county building, and the circuit court building. Now, our circuit court building, the 16th Circuit Court, is deemed as one of the not only one of the busiest, but one of the most understaffed judge-wise in the state of Michigan, meaning that our 13 circuit court judges have the highest caseload than any other circuit court in the state of Michigan. So we know that it's likely that in the next 4 to 5 years, we'll have 2 or 3 more circuit court judges occupying that court building. So we need to make room for them. We need to plan for it. We're going to take the old county building, and my earliest recollection, being born and raised in St. Clair Shores and just recently moving all the way north to Harrison Township, my earliest recollection as a kid driving through the city of Mount Clemens with my parents was first we would plug our nose because we would smell the sulfur, I think, from the mineral water. And I always remember driving past and seeing these mountain goats that were looking down on us, and they would just scare the daylights out of me. Though that was my earliest recollection of that building back in the 1960s. We're going to turn that building, we're going to utilize every single floor of that building. So 4 years ago, that building was only about 50% occupied with employees and services that we were providing. Bottom line, nobody wanted to work in that building because it was so old. It's solid, it's a rock, it'll never go anywhere. I don't think the A-bomb could hurt that building. It's every floor, every wall is concrete, thick floors. So very well built. But, going in there, it kind of looked like going in your great-grandfather's basement, Many of the floors were just dank and dark. But we're going to build it out. That building will be used exclusively for court services. So we're going to move some court administration from the top floor of our court building over into that building. We're going to move friend of the court into that building. We're going to move juvenile court, and probate court is going to be leaving our Dunham campus over there at North Rose and Dunham, and we're going to be moving down here. So that building will be 100%. That building will be 100% utilized exclusively for court services, not for anything else but. That will give us room to build out 3 more judges' chambers, judges' courtrooms in the circuit court building, and court administration will be going to the top floor of the 16th Circuit Court. When the glass building was built in the late 1990s, They had left two floors, 2 of the 9 floors unfinished for future growth. So we're moving human resources and some other departments into that building. So we're really proud because what this is going to do, it's going to bring hundreds of more county employees into downtown Mount Clemens every single day. And it's going to bring dozens or hundreds of more users of our services into downtown. And while we don't have a parking deck and never will to fit everybody, they're going to be parking in city parking lots, and they're going to be filtering through the business districts. So we really believe this was a well thought out model, but we knew we weren't going anywhere. And I feel that as the county executive feels that as a county government who has a large footprint in this city, that we need to do our fiduciary in filling up our buildings to bring people down to the city to help do our part in keeping the city of Mount Clemens vibrant. That's it. 5 minutes? 5 minutes? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. And last but not least, County Commissioner Fred Miller.
Thanks, Fred. So, as they say, everything that can be said has been said, but not by everybody. So here I'll be brief. Mark Delden said a lot about what's happening in the county, and we could go on and on because there are a lot of exciting things that happen happening in the county as an organization, and we view the county as a key stakeholder in the downtown in Mount Clemens. And Mark Delden has such a soothing voice. I kid him that he should have a radio program, Quiet Storm, with Mark Delden. But Mark Hackle does such a great job representing the county regionally throughout the state and throughout the county. But nobody knows more about the day-to-day operations than Mark Delden. And this $65 million build-out that the mayor referred to, Mark Delden has been at every step of the way. And every step of the way, we've had deep, meaningful conversations about the impact on the downtown, about the residents, about the businesses. And I believe in my heart that we have a true partner in the executive's office through Mark Hackle, Mark Delden, that are going to make sure that the county, whatever has happened in the past, is a good stakeholder in the downtown and is cognizant of the impact that we have in the downtown, in the city, and to make sure that it's a positive partnership. And so I feel good about those conversations. For me, personally, I live a couple blocks. I could walk to work, but I usually don't. But I do ride my bike. This was the summer for me and my 2 girls who are ages 6 and 4. They both lost their training wheels. So we've had the opportunity to bike all over this city, and I've really fallen in love with the city again. This summer, we biked all over. We biked to Shady Side. We biked to Wilson Park. We biked to Dickinson Park, up and down Crocker. Fell and skinned a couple of knees along the way, but I really thank the mayor for her vision and the passion and the love for the city that she has, that so many of us share. I love this city, and I can't imagine being anywhere else in the state of Michigan except for Mount Clemens, and we really appreciate what we have here. The last thing I want to say, because I know the hour is late, the last part of the build-out is the deconstruction of the existing parking structure at the corner of Market and Main. This is a 2.3 acre parcel in the heart of downtown, and there are no current plans for what to do with it once it is demolished. And it's this key piece of the puzzle. So I want to put a challenge before all of you here and all of you who may be viewing, that as key stakeholders, people who are invested in Mount Clemens, people who love Mount Clemens, it's a blank canvas there. We have an opportunity to dream, to come up with a vision for what we want that to be, how it can service our residents and families, how it can service our businesses, how it can service our county employees, all of our stakeholders. And so we're teeing up conversations, and I want to invite everybody who's interested in that crucial part of the Mount Clemens puzzle to engage us, because the demolition is slated to happen in early 2017. So that gives us a good amount of time to really dream, to seek funding, and to make that be what I think it can be, in some ways a tent pole that would help everybody else who's under the Mount Clemens umbrella. A lot more that I could say, but thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner Miller. Okay, before we let you go, a couple of announcements regarding the chamber. Upcoming events, we'd love to have you join us for lunch this Wednesday at Avante on Gratiot in Clinton Township. And if you join us, you will learn the secrets of my success by Paul Glantz from the Imagine Theater. So that's a great program. We hope you can join us for that. Political Hot Topics is on Friday, October 23rd. That is our discussion forum that will be led by moderator Fred Savage from Fox 2, and we expect many of our local officials to be there and engaged in some lively conversation on important issues. Connect and Shop is on Tuesday, October 27th at Carson's at the Mall. Get to Know Your Chambers on Tuesday, November 3rd at First State Bank on Hayes and Clinton Township. And our Coffee Connection happens on Wednesday, November 9th at the Apple Store at the mall at Partridge Creek. And you can go to MacomBCountyChamber.com and get all the details on those events. Thank you to our chamber staff that does such a great job in executing these events. And a few more things. Go green, go blue. One more thing. Jay Towers. Excellent. Great. And we'll have great weather tomorrow, right? The mayor guarantees great weather. So, again, go green, go blue, go Red Wings. God help the Lions. Thank you.